Josh. You ever see a Sasquatch?
No, not exactly.
What do you mean, not exactly?
Well, I've seen a heap of tracks. Some big ones, some little ones. I remember back in 1912 when we was traveling up the Columbia Riverway with a bunch of fellers doing a bit of hunting. We stopped to camp for the night. Well, during the night, something snuck into our camp and tore it all to shreds.
Maybe it was a bear.
Tore no bear.
How do you know you didn't actually see it?
Well, I seen the tracks the next morning. They's about 18 inches long. No bar has feet that big.
But how many people have you talked to who have actually seen a Bigfoot?
Couple dozen, maybe.
Do you believe in that Mount St. Helens story?
I sure do. I knowed old Fred Beck who told me about it. The way old Beck told it to me, he and 3 other fellers was working a mine back in 1924 called the Vanderlite Mine.
They'd been prospecting and panning a little gold up in the Lewis River country. This is near Mount St. Helens for going on 6 years. They was doing pretty well, too. They'd seen a lot of tracks around during the years, and they always just figured them to be tracks of a big Injun that's still roaming the hills. On this particular day, one of them come back from town with a new assay. It was a dandy. They discovered a pretty good strike of gold, all things considered. They're all kind of excited. They decide to knock off for the day and celebrate their good fortune. They headed back for the cabin as usual, along an old, well-used trail. About midway up the trail, they began to hear the sounds of footsteps behind them, and off the sides, too. Never did see what was in the trees, but something was sure following them. By the time they got back to the cabin, they were pretty scared. Charlie was more scared than the others. And the sounds of those footsteps, it seemed to him like there was more than one of them things out there, whatever it was. They decided they'd eat a quick supper and go to bed. They had heard nothing more from the trees, and they figured that whatever there was out there had gone away. attack went on for most of the night. Sometimes it was still, and other times it increased. The cabin kept shaking, and they kept shooting, but they never knew if they hit one of them. Well, just before dawn, the attack stopped. All around the cabin were large footprints of critters. They's over 18 inches long, and there's a ton or two of rocks that had been thrown down from the ledge. Fred said the apes had did everything they could to get into the cabin. It was built too solid. To this day, that canyon is called Ape Canyon.